he's bigger than Quincy Acey,
Yeah, he's more athletic also.
and he's more athletic. Yep, definitely. He's got long arms. Uh, and the Grand Rapids drive has had a lot of success, but you're still talking about. I I just don't. I'm just not excited. It's. Do you know anything that excites you about this kid?
No, I mean he has like a. I watched a couple of videos of him, both highlights and not highlights, and he has a story that's sad where his dad passed away right at the end of a game he was playing, and he supposedly like really dedicated himself to basketball after that, and he just seems like a he seems like he has like a good nice vibe. Whether he's going to be a player, I mean, look his role basically to me in the G League of the stuff I watched looked like he was basically a more forceful like Jared Allen. I mean, I don't know if he can play defense like Jared can, but like just filling up, just dunking and basically getting tip slams and stuff like that, and that's the extent of what he's there to do. But I think so. I think like we've look. I mean, like none of us know how good this guy's going to be. I mean, look, he's the only G League-ish type guy that we've signed during the quarantine. Besides, I mean, during the quarantine time, obviously Chiozo was already on the roster. I mean, I think the real question is like, what do we think? Like, what do we think the rotation's going to be? I mean, they now have like they're bringing like a full squad to Brooklyn, but like if you're not getting run on this Nets team, like Jacques Vaughn's playing you 2 or 3 minutes, you might as well should like book your ticket to Europe at that point because like if you want a chance to play in the NBA, this is it right now. And and the only guaranteed like 30 something minutes I can think of is basically Allen, Harris, and Levert. Like after that, it's I mean it is I mean I'm sure as you know you're our favorite Prince and Temple. I probably have a little bit more love for Temple than you do. Those guys are probably the next two that'll get some run. But I mean, like after that, I don't know who's going to be in there. If it's going to be a Chioza thing, I don't know if Tyler Johnson is going to get a lot of run, who I'm sure you probably still want to talk about because that seems like the guy that you're looking forward to more than I am.
Yes. Well, let's move on to Tyler then. Like Tyler, I like Tyler because I saw a player that could come in and be kind of like a Swiss Army knife player, basically do what Garrett Temple is supposed to do for us, and do it at a pretty proficient rate. I never wanted him to be a starter. I what I wanted when the reason why I was approving of Tyler Johnson as a signing was because the Nets were in talent acquisition mode, and the only thing that they can use as a cudgel on the other teams in the market for signing these players was using the cap space that no one was going to take from them anyway,
Right.
to acquire as many bodies, you know, on the Nets as possible, and then flip them however you can after. Um, he wasn't deserving of the level of money that was there, but I understood the talent acquisition piece of it. The problem that scares me is that they have a tendency to want the Tylers to play small forward.
That's true.
And and if his shooting is bad this year, the Nets have this thing where their shooters, especially at the free throw line, falter because they take so much punishment throughout the whole entire game. Uh, like Joe Johnson will just be guarding power forwards and 6'9" wings. Um, it's the funniest thing is watching him ride on Al Horford's back trying to guard him when we play
Yeah.
Philly and they're gigantic. Um, he's it, the Nets are gonna probably just wear that kid out, whereas he should probably just come in for minutes to spot Karis LeVert or play shooting guard off of Karis LeVert when he's playing, point guard and giving Chioza a break. I, I feel like he'll be defensively good enough, and when I say good enough, is what is good enough? Like I think he'll get some good minutes guarding Van Vliet and folks like that. But there's just so much problems up front that they're gonna have to use some of the better players. Like I think you're gonna see Garrett Temple play power forward.
Yep.
We're in so much trouble.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. It's something it's something you've like rightfully harped on, which I haven't thought about as much. Is like he is constantly putting guys, because they're so undersized. Usually, he is putting a lot of the smaller guys and or the kind of combo guards in a worse position, to the point that they have to guard stronger, bigger guys, and I wonder what the wear and tear is. Which is why I'm a little curious. Like, that's why I kind of like the Lance Thomas move, because I think that's kind of a body that they need, and it's also why I thought they could have, instead of kind of going with so many guards who they've signed during this period, they could have gone for like Mbah Mute, who the Rockets got, just to have other bodies. But
wait. Stop everything. Luke Mbah Mute was available?
Yep.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Luke Mbah Mute was available?
Yeah, the Rockets signed him 5 days ago. I know, there's another guy to add.
What? How does Sean Marks not sign Luke Mbah Mute with everything that's going? He's better than the guys we regularly have, like the guys that were.
I would have rather had him during the year. I would have rather had him on the team than TLC.
Oh, the pain. The pain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. When I saw that, I was like, what?
We're going to play Malik Beasley. We signed Malik Beasley, and he's suspended for 5 games.
I'm trying to think who else. There were some other names that I saw that I was curious about, like giving a.
Did anybody sign Boogie? Can Boogie play? Can he even play? Like,
so I'm totally confused why Boogie hasn't been signed yet, which he hasn't. Like, so here's the deal. I guess I feel like we're at the part where we can right now, where we can either diss Marks more and or talk about like who else we would have signed, which so I spent some time looking at some of the other guys. So I think, for example, I would have rather had them sign Trier than Crawford, just to have a guy that's young. I know that would be another Nick, unfortunately, but I would just rather
we
try.
We are picking up Knicks. Oh my god! Oh my god, Sam! We signed 7 Knickerbockers in 2020. Oh my god!
The other guy we didn't talk about, by the way, who it sounds like you've watched more Long Island Nets than I have. Is I'm curious what I guess they finally are giving both Justin Anderson and Jeremiah Martin a shot.
So it doesn't. I'm hearing that Justin Anderson isn't coming back because basically his slot would have been the slot that Lance Thomas is getting.
Oh, is that true? Okay, yeah, I was wondering how they were fitting Thomas, because I thought that they basically. I thought that was it after that.
I don't know. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how this is happening. We've talked about most of the players. I don't even think it's worth. If there's more, I don't even think it's worth bringing them up. Let's talk about the guys who are available. Right?
Yeah. Also, it does. By the way, it does look like you're right. It looks like the Anderson thing might now not be happening because of Thomas.
Yeah. But I'll give you some even better players. You ready? That should be Nets.
This is my favorite game.
Ryan Anderson should be on the Nets.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Shooter, yep, totally.
Right. Gerald Green should probably be on the Nets over most of these guys. right?
Yeah, especially if they're not going to go for just youth, then like
Right.
that. Yeah, then go
Yeah.
for guys like that.
If you're gonna take Malik Beasley, take Gerald Green.
Yep.
He's more dependable, right?
Yeah,
You
I'm
want
right there with you.
you want scoring off the bench, like instant offense? Why not Isaiah Thomas? He's available.
Do you know who I thought you were going to say right now, which I'm happy you didn't, because even though I was a fan of his and I actually took a picture with him at the draft, I don't think he's a real NBA player, is Isaiah Whitehead.
I love the guy. He's Brooklyn through and through. I've been watching him
And he was
since
great
he was in high school. I've only saw him like a couple times. I saw him more in high school than I did in college.
Yeah.
I like going to high school games every now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so much good basketball happening in and around my neighborhood. So, I love the kid, but not there's better you could do.
Yep.
And like I look at what Jerry West did. He gave Joakim Noah a 10-day. There's things you could do, but it would be criminal for them not to be wooing DeMarcus Cousins right now, and to tell DeMarcus Cousins, look, you're coming back from a catastrophic injury. We're screwed, but if you could ball, we'll consider you to play with Kyrie and KD. That would be motivation. Yep. That would be a thing like, all right, I'm gonna just go out here and save my career. And instead, we get Lance Thomas. I hope DeMarcus Cousins doesn't sign with the Lakers or something like that. It's so depressing. Can I give you one last guy?
Yeah.
Joe Johnson.
I know. I've been thinking about him a lot recently because he's on TV now all the time.
Joe Johnson would be better to take right now than Crawford, and he's a net.
I agree. I'm totally with you on that.
Do you see why I think, like, I know most Nets Twitter says I think I'm unreasonable, but how could you just miss so much as Sean Marks? Like, do you see it? Malik Beasley is suspended for 5 games, and there's only 8 games of a regular season left. My partner Sam, I'm very concerned. I'm stressed. I'm drinking tequila. Like, it's not good, man.
No, I hear you. Do you know? By the way, do you know who I also would have rather had over Crawford, who was a Knick but also played with the Nets this year, and I thought was great, is Shumpert.
Yeah, I'm not a Shumpert guy.
But
Shumpert is better than.
I thought he was great this year, though.
Shumpert's better than the guys that's like. Shumpert's not going to fill in the offense that is missing from Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yep.
But he's better than some of these guys. Like this is pretty bad.
Look, I'm with you. No, that's why I said I'd give him at the highest a B and most likely probably a B- with these signings. But look, the truth is that if one or two of these guys are on the team next year, then that's a big win for Marks, because you can make a very good argument that none of these guys are going to be back.
Oh, this team is about to be gutted in the summer. Sean Marks is about to act a fool. Sam, my man, it's been a pleasure.
As always.
I wasn't drunk this time.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be when you're 2 weeks from now, when you're watching the Nets regular season game and there's a starting lineup of Tyler Johnson, I won't even include Tyler Johnson, Jamal Crawford, Jeremiah Martin, Donta Hall, Michael Beasley, and Thomas. I think the tequila will be out.
We've been the front office, ladies and gentlemen. Brooklyn basketball, we'll get through it. We'll get through it together, everybody. Here's to Orlando.
Here's to Orlando.